I'm having tea with my friend Steve. And tonight I'm actually enjoying a nice cup of chamomile tea. Happens to be like one of my preferred teas because I find it very soothing, relaxing, especially before I go to bed at night. Steve, why don't you say hello to everybody?
How you doing? My name's Steve. How you doing?
Steve,
Um,
I'm very thankful for being on my show. And basically, I'm going to ask you questions and we have a conversation, have a cup of tea, and that's pretty much about it. And before we went live, I asked you about truthful and communication, and then combining the two together. So, what about truthful communication and its relevance and actually in life?
my thoughts on that? Well,
Yes.
well, it's kind of easier, really. It's easier to tell the truth, and it keeps you straight as well. If you have a policy of telling the truth, it kind of, it's a good thing too. It makes it easier to go back to things and go, oh yeah, 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 what's going on? In life, I mean, highly recommend it. Others recommend it too.
Steve, does the word royalty ring a bell for you at all?
Royalty, yes, it does. I'm British, so of course royalty is part of the fabric of our culture. So, in the usual context, it means kings and queens. Yeah,
And how about royal?
royal is a little less, more distinct, different meanings. Royal as in, they are royalty, or it could be the color royal blue. It's also sort of a way you carry yourself too, I suppose. Um, yeah, kind of like a breeding class type of thing, I suppose. Yeah.
What about peace and freedom? And how does peace and freedom like make you feel?
Peace and freedom. That's not an everyday subject, Peace and freedom. Well, I guess I take peace and freedom for granted, really. Although I was reading yesterday that the crime rate in the United States, where we both live, has dropped some crazy amount, like 20, like since 1991. It's like, is it half what it used to be? Some number like that. 28% drop in crime. We are more peaceful now. There's all sorts of theories floating around as to why it's happening. It's actually a multitude of different reasons for it happening. Freedom. Um, on the surface, we live in a free world. We're kind of constrained by what station in life we're born to, I guess. So if you're unfortunate enough to be born in, into a poverty in a country, then the freedom to become rich and fly around the world is limited. Similarly, if you were um, born in a certain government types, then as freedom is not as available there as well, I suppose.
Steve, what
Yeah.
about self-knowledge? And how is
Self.
that helpful? Self-knowledge.
You mean knowledge about myself? I mean knowledge about how I see myself? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
How I see myself. Well, I'm kind of happier in life. I'm quite happy in life at the moment. Um, I think my midlife crisis lasted about a couple of hours, really. Wasn't really too upset with things when I turned late 40s a couple of years ago. Um, self-knowledge. I think I know where I'm in life. I guess my my current employment situation, which kind of defines us all really, is I work contracts, and so you have periods of busy work and periods of looking for work, and you try and have the gaps as short as possible. But during those gaps, you kind of examine yourself and sort of, you know, I don't really get down too much when I'm out of work. I guess I'm happy with myself, I guess. Um, I need more specific questions than that, Mark. Help me out. What else do you need?
Well, Steve, this came up. What is it that would make you or makes you a better learner and a better teacher?
Better learner, better teacher. Being humble is makes you a better learner. Realizing you don't know it all. Listen, even to your children sometimes, that they may know things you don't know. Good heavens. Um, Better learner, better teacher. Better teacher. Empathy. Empathy is a good one because you really need to put yourself in the other person's position to feel their pain, to say, feel their confusion, feel their barriers, so you can tackle those. Um, yeah, that's, yeah. Go on, Mark. What's next?
Okay. What about discerning and speaking the truth in all situations?
Discerning.
Discerning and speaking the truth in all situations.
Discerning and speaking the truth in all situations. Well, discerning. I always associate the word discerning with taste, having good taste, and so discerning in and speaking the truth. Well, I mean, looking back on yourself, really, it's easier to keep it all straight if you speak the truth, and you should feel better about yourself. Certainly, I do. If you speak the truth. Of course, if someone asks you, hey, a woman asks you, hey, how do I look? You've got to find the right way of saying it too. But discerning. So I guess you mean like looking at the situation and working out if it's appropriate to tell the absolute truth, or if you should perhaps sugarcoat it or just omit. Is that what you're saying? If a
This is
lady were to say to you, "Hey, how do I look today, Steve?" and she's not looking so good, what should you say, Mark?
this is all relevant to you, you know.
Oh,
Are you enjoying this, Steve? It's a good conversation here, and if you are, I just want to ask you about knowledge and understanding. How is that like, prevalent in your life?
I have a distinct thirst for knowledge. I kind of live to learn, really. I really do. I don't like being stagnant. I'm, to relax, I'll do something puzzling. A hobby I've had, really, for a lifelong hobby I've had, I do off and on, is genealogy. I study, researching my family tree and my wife's family tree, and I'm always learning about the tree, and I like jobs, which Mark can help me with, jobs which give me variety and stimulate me. I mean, really, I really live to learn more than, some people in life, they live to earn, live to gather things, tangible things. I gather things. My gathering is kind of experiences and knowledge, really. I kind of I really like vacations and traveling and to sample different cultures, experiences, and gain knowledge. And that actually, the more you learn about places around the world, the more empathetic you become and the better teacher you become. So I guess I can see where you're all bringing it together, Mark. I can see where it's all going. So yeah, that's where I am. Knowledge is good.
How about reflection?
reflection, kind of like a meditation, I guess. Um, for some, it's like yoga or meditation. Some it's religion. Some it's going for a walk in the park, listening to music. You can even meditate while reflection while doing mindless tasks, so like doing the washing up. Really, it's kind of good therapy. Reflection. It's good to kind of put things in boxes. Um, I kind of do it driving on an easy piece of road, like an interstate. Reflect, go to church, do it there too. It kind of helps you when you reflect, helps you move forward. You sort of tie things up, a little bow on them, and then you can like, okay, got that, and you move on to the next sort of tackling one of life's next complexities. It is complex.
Steve, this is fantastic. Wow, you're doing a great job. Awesome, awesome flow. I got another question for you. Um, how does knowledge of self give one a clearer perspective?
How does it give you a clearer perspective? Well, tying in with what I was saying before about traveling and seeing people and tasting things, like I was in India on a business trip, and then I went to a number of cities. Been there a number of cities, I should say, and Calcutta is something indelibly marked in my mind. How poor people living on the streets still have jobs, still work hard, do their thing, and knowledge of that, of their life and their station in life, circling fact, is kind of helps you appreciate where you are. But if you can call upon those memories of seeing people in poverty in India, or seeing somebody with horrendous injuries from a road accident, trying to walk down the street in Latin America, then you kind of appreciate where you are. If you can draw upon those memories, then you can feel the empathy, the easy empathy of the student in the classroom.
Wow, that is awesome. What about what about higher level of awareness?
Oh, high level awareness. Are you getting all religious on me here? It's certainly going spiritual. Of course, there is Maslow's triangle, where sorry, I'm talking too technical now about organizational development and psychology, about humans' basic needs. The triangle at the bottom is everyone's worried about their security and their personal safety is the bottom level. Everyone needs to feel personal safety. They've got personal safety established. They look for security in their environment, and they work their way up until the very, very top of the triangle is self-fulfillment. And we go through these different levels of the triangle at different times. And it actually ties into my job, where my specialty is to merge people in acquired companies. And when you're acquired, your life is, you're not the person selling a company, you're an employee. Your life changes dramatically, and you bump down that triangle to the bottom level. And the first question you always ask when you're in my position, when you acquire a company, they say, "Is my job safe?" First thing they ask you. The second question they always ask you is, "What's going to happen to the product?" Because their future has always been tied to the product. Would it be a software product, or it might be? And then from there, the third question varies. But those first two questions are talking about the bottom levels, an indication of how people jump through the levels of awareness, down away from self-awareness, down to practicalities, and as they become more comfortable, more fulfilled, they work their way back up the triangle to ultimately we can achieve at the top levels of self-actuation. A bit technical, sorry.
That's a fantastic breakdown. What about What about identifying one's gifts and abilities? How is that
One's
important?
your
How
own
about,
gifts and abilities.
yeah, how is that important in life?
Well, you let me off the hook with the end bit there, didn't you? Yeah, it's easier. If you, go on. I mean, if you, how do you identify your own abilities? Listening to others talk about you is one way. Writing a resume also, and having to do that searching through, like, oh my goodness, what did I do in the late '90s? It's all a fog. But really, you let me off the hook and say, what was the end of the question again? What was the second part of the question?
How is that important in life?
Well, if you understand your abilities, you can sell yourself to others, whether it be working in the office or networking. But also, it helps you be more content. You know your abilities. I know I don't usually talk too fast. I know I'm good at communicating. I know that I talk better with my hands moving around. Is more useful than knowing your abilities, because then you kind of become more accepting of where you are in life. Cool. Next question.
Okay. Um, how about this? Here's an interesting one. What about the third eye? Does that have any relevance to you?
I've heard of it. The
We talked
third
about
eye.
meditation
I
before,
could,
and the third eye has come up.
man. I've heard of it. I know there's Indian god with a third eye. I really don't know about it. Mark, help me out. Ask me. Can you fill me in what it is? Maybe I can answer. How it fits into me.
Listen, it's relative to you, the third eye chakra. And usually when we meditate, something we can visualize from, connect with it.
But but when
Have
you
you
meditate, shouldn't you be trying to clear your mind the whole time and not latching onto things?
have you practiced visualization?
During meditation? No, I've the meditation, a small amount of meditation I've done, you know, formal meditation, has been clear your mind, let it go, um, don't let your mind wander, just clear it out, let it go. Uh, Visualization? Sorry, I haven't practiced that at all. I mean, not. I mean, I remember vaguely people saying, imagine yourself. Is that what you mean by that?
Yes, outside of meditation, have you practiced visualization in your life?
You know, I suppose so. When my wife was getting ready for our second child, we planned a home birth. Max was born at home, no doctors, no hospitals, and preparation for that involved a lot of pain management. So preparing, and the wife and I, we went through this together, these classes to learn how to handle pain because it's painful, giving birth, without an option of drugs. And part of the techniques we were taught, we did it together, was kind of stepping outside yourself, imagine yourself standing to one side, imagine the pain being, imagine the pain being a glove, and you take the glove off and you squeeze the glove, and then you throw the glove away. So, is that what you mean? How am I
Yes.
doing? Oh, it is that. Okay, I have done it then.
What about limitations? What limitations have you overcome to get where you are?
What limitations
Yes.
to get where I am? Um, my parents were both government employees, very stable. Dad was a policeman, mum worked in a school, very, and I'm now an entrepreneur, and that breaking through, changing that was. Um, Sorry, someone's texting me. Sorry, I should have muted the telephone. I think it's actually a job that's come through. Quick, 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 quick. Um, where was it? Oh yeah. So breaking through and becoming an entrepreneur was I was wrestling with that for years, and eventually I was actually let go of my company after 22 years in country, four cities, I should say, two countries, and three companies who we acquired and acquired again. I've let go, and it was a wonderful thing to happen to me, you know, and that I had to be pushed really, like on the edge of the pool, and I'm like not jumping in, and eventually someone goes just pushes you from behind gently, and you go, and you do that terrifying falling through the air until you hit the water, and you come up to the surface to go, ah, why didn't I do it earlier?
All
Uh,
right,
so
we're gonna wrap up over here. A couple quick things, okay? I'm
what?
gonna read an affirmation, okay? I'll read it twice, and if it sparks you, please share about it briefly. If not, that's fine. But if it does, I have a feeling this might hit something with you. So you ready?
Mm,
I claim the sovereignty and power of my highest self and align myself with my highest truth. I'll say it again. I claim the sovereignty and power of my highest self and I align myself with my highest truth.
uh, well, my response is we all should aspire to do that. We all should reach as high as we can. I think life has a way of knocking you back down that triangle I was talking about before. But you should keep trying to climb that hill, climb that Maslow's triangle to reach self-actuation, self-affirmation, same thing. Um, I think that I'm doing all right on the whole. How I think life is up and down, and so your self-realization, and you're worried about your future, your income, and you're back up and looking good, and then you're worried about the job security. You do this, and I think generally I'm generally above the average. I hope so.
That's great.
People like me, so I think that must mean something about me.
All
Right.
right. It's been
Maybe blow my own
awesome.
horn there.
I'm really, grateful that you took the time to be on here. And before we close out, there's somebody watching, the broadcast, and it could be live right now, or probably could be, later on down the road on recorded version. And it could be someone that maybe it's someone that you don't know, but someone's watching and they really like what you had to say, and you made some changes that you shared about in your life. What advice would you give someone that to make that change that you gave? Like, what advice would you give someone? We talked about some really good things here, and how would you try to give someone, a total stranger or someone that you know, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, in a nutshell. Don't feel constrained by what's behind you or where you are right now. Um, I mean, I've changed jobs more than the average person has within one company. But you don't have to. If you start life as in my case, a civil engineer, you don't have to be a civil engineer all your life. You can you can hop sideways and diagonally and back a little bit, and don't be a. What's the worst that can happen? What that you don't get promoted? Is that really? Do you already want to be in charge of IBM? I'm not sure if the guy who's in charge of IBM wants to be in charge of it himself. Um, so yes, enjoy the journey. A lot of people, especially in America, are concerned about getting things for a time in the future, and you may drop dead or walk in front of a bus before you get there. So enjoy the journey you're on now. How's that? Cheers.
Awesome, Steve. That was great. It was really, I really enjoyed it. And again, thank you very much. I know it's late and everything like that. We got families and everything like that. So, you want to say goodbye to everybody? Say some last words?
Oh well, Mark, it's a pleasure. The time flew by. Do you get that a lot?
Yep. What happens when we're in the flow? So,
Yeah,
Steve,
the questions weren't what I expected at all. But hey, it's good. Thanks a lot, Mark. It's actually been very fun.
all right.